Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Love Runs Out by One Republic. And it starts off with this really cool little lick where you can play 3rd fret on the low E string. And we can kind of do that a lot, and you may want to kind of try that with down-ups. And what can be kind of cool on the intro too is you kind of hear this cool little tag lick where you could almost play open E, do 1st fret as a hammer-on, 2nd fret as a hammer-on, to get back to the 3. Which kind of might even be kind of cool as kind of like a hammer-on lick, kind of a ho-ho-ho lick. Santa Claus. so you may want to kind of play around with that lick too. It's kind of an intro, kind of a 3, 1, 2, 3, kind of an idea. Or you can back that up with chords, and you may just want to work just that G note actually on the low E string. And you could take the 3rd finger and put them on the A string 5th fret, and kind of work that as a G5 idea, which might be kind of cool through the tune. Or you can make that a little bit thicker by using a G minor. And the way you play G minor, 1st finger goes across the entire 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the A 5th, pinky on the D string 5th. You kind of work that as a G minor chord. Or you may want to think about lifting off the pinky and making that a G minor 7. Or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd and kind of make it different G minor 7. And there's a couple different strumming options through the tune. Actually, a lot of it just feels like kind of that 8 down and kind of a muting idea. Kind of throwing the flat of my right hand down on top of the sound and kind of make that a little bit sneaky. So you want to kind of play around with that kind of an idea. Or you could kind of work it by a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the G5 and just tried that a lot. You have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Points in the tune where you may want to play around with 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that into 2 parts with our down, down, up, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down. And what I mean by that is if you take the G5 and do a down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the 1st beat. Then on the 2nd beat, you do a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then on the 3rd beat, you do an up on 2, down on 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you'd be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. It's kind of challenging, but very cool to kind of work on, especially through the bridge part. And then from there, then we'll be going into our verse part. And our verse starts on the G, and then we do more G, and you kind of hear that lick kind of continue, kind of that 3rd fret on the low E string, and then more 3rd fret on the low E, more 3rd fret on the low E, and then we go to 3rd on the A, and then 3rd on the A to 1st fret on the A, to the 3rd fret on the low E, and then more 3rd fret on the low E, and then from there you could go to 5th on the A string, and then 5th on the A, and then 3rd on the low E string. So if you wanted to, you could kind of follow that lick. And if you wanted to, you could even thicken that up by following with power chords. So you can start on the G5, But then we go to that third fret on the A string. You may want to think about using a C5 power chord. You do first finger on the A string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string, 5th fret. Kind of work that as a C5 power chord. And then that 1st fret on the A string, you could kind of take that shape and slide it back 2 frets and kind of work it off 1st fret on the A, 3rd fret on the D string is a B flat 5. And then we're going back to our G5, and then more G5. And then for the D note, actually, that we're playing 5th fret on the A string, you may want to take 3rd finger and go to the D on the 7 for D5, kind of back that up that way, and then go back to the G. So kind of make it a little bit thicker that way, kind of G, G. And I'm just kind of doing down ups at this point, G, G, C, and then kind of a C with a down up, B flat with a down up, and a G, G. D, G, G. Or if you wanted to make that even thicker with the chords, you could start on the G minor, and then when that C note turns up, you could back that up with a C minor chord. And normally you do this as 3rd fret bar, 2nd finger on the B 4th fret, 3rd finger on the D 5th fret, pinky on the G 5th fret. That sounds a C minor chord. It sounds very sad. Now you may also want to think about lifting the pinky, making that a C minor 7, or you could add in the pinky on the high E on the 8th fret, kind of make it a different C minor 7. And then for that B flat note, you may want to back it up with a B flat major chord, where you could do 1st finger as a 1st fret bar, 3rd finger over the D, G, and B strings, and if you strum all those together, that sounds a B flat major chord. And then from the B flat major, we'd be going back to our G minor, and then more G minor. And then for the D, you may want to back that up with a D major chord. You could even do just a regular old D, where you do 1st finger on the G 2nd, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, and if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord. It sounds really happy. Now around Ds in general, it can be kind of cool to lift the 2nd finger. It's a different dangerous finger to lift to the sound of D sus, or you could add in the pinky on the high E 3rd, D suspended chord, kind of say some things around the D, kind of D sus 2, D sus, kind of an idea. Or you may want to make it a D7 chord, where you do 1st finger on the B 1st fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd fret. If you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D7 chord. You can also do the same kind of moves, kind of lift in the 3rd finger for a D7 sus 2, or add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for a D7 sus. Or if you're digging on the bar chords, you could do this as a 5th fret bar, 3rd finger over the D, G, and B. It's kind of a D major chord. Or you can make that a D7 by doing the 5th fret bar, 3rd finger on the D7, pinky on the B7. Or, especially for me, I'm kind of digging on jazzing this up a little bit, make it in a D9, where you do 1st finger on the D string 4th, 2nd on the A 5th, 3rd finger over the G, B, and E, kind of on the 5th fret. And if you strum from the A string to the high E, that sounds a D9, which can be a very, very cool option through that too. And you could even do that with either one of those strum patterns, actually, kind of G minor, down, up, down, G minor, down, up, down, G minor, down, G minor, C minor. You don't get that C minor D flat, you may want to do just down, down, up on each of those chords. And then G minor, D9, D major, G minor, or if you're digging on the 16th, you have G minor, G minor, G minor, G minor, C minor, think of it down, down, a B flat, down, a B minor, G minor, ding, ding, kind of dig on that for the verse chorus. Or something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. A lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, you can put a bass for the chord. So on the G minor, you have the A for the bass, or a low E string for the bass. And on the C minor, you'd have the A string for the bass. And on the B flat, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the G minor, you'd have low E for the bass. On the regular D, you got the D for the bass. Unless you're doing the 5th fret bars, in which case you got the A string for the bass, or if you're doing the D9, you got the A for the bass. So we could kind of try that first chorus with a bass down, up, down, up. And have G minor, G minor. little weird. If you want to leave out that C minor or the B flat major chord, actually you could just kind of ride on the C minor. If you're kind of digging on that, if you're kind of looking for easier ways out. Or you could kind of half that pattern, actually, kind of that C minor, and then you could even take the B flat with a bass down, down. That's kind of what I was doing with the 16th pattern. If you're doing the down, down, up, you want to do just the bass down, up on each of those chords. So we tried it that way. We'd have the G minor, G minor, G minor, G minor, C minor, C minor, B flat, G minor, G minor, D, G minor. There are a couple spaces where you may want to kind of do just kind of down kill. It's actually on that last G minor. Or if we were doing our 16th pattern, have a G minor, G minor, G minor, G minor, C minor, C minor, B flat, G minor, G minor, D, and then we basically be repeating that until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge, you hear this cool little bass line come in where you play third on the low E, first fret on the low E, open E, sixth fret on the A, and then we repeat all that. Third on the low E, first on the low E, open E, sixth on the A, and then we go to fifth on the A, and then you could go to eighth on the A, and then we'd end up back on the G, on the low E on the third, and then we do some more of that G, and then G, kind of 4 times at the end, and then we end up back on our D. It's kind of a big hit, actually at the very, very end. So you could kind of bag that up with power chords, actually, kind of the G5 power chord to an F5 power chord, where you do first finger on the low E, first fret, third finger on the A, third fret, you kind of work the E and the A string for an F5, or you could bag that up with an F major chord, where you do first finger across the entire first fret, second finger on the G second, third finger on the A third, pinky on the D string third, kind of strum that for an F major. Or a good substitute for that chord can be an F major 7, where you do first finger on the B string first, second finger on the G second, third finger on the D third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, it's a very groovy F major sound. And then the E note, we would actually back up with a C note. And this is a little weird from the F5. What you may want to do is just lift off the first finger and make that kind of an open E note, but with the third fret on the A. It's kind of a C3. It's a C and an E note. Kind of the C note is the root, and E is what we call the third. I call that C3/E shape-wise. So that might be kind of a cool option for that. Or if you want to back it up with a bigger chord, you could back it up with a C major chord, where you do first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the D second fret, and third finger on the A third fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. If you get the low E string in on it, kind of back up that bass. And then from there, then we'd be going to the sixth fret on the A string for kind of that E flat note. And you could bag that up with kind of a bar shape, very similar to the D, where you do sixth fret bar, third finger of the D, G, and B. It's kind of an E flat major chord. It's kind of a double bar. Or you could just use the power chord by doing first finger on the A6, third finger on the D6, or 8th fret, kind of the 6th and 8th fret, kind of an idea for the E flat. And then we kind of repeat all that, kind of that G, F, C/E, E flat. But then we go to that 5th fret for the D5, and then if you slide that up to 8th fret on the A string, third finger on the D10, that's kind of an F5. Or if you want to make that lower, you could go back to the first fret F5. And then we end up back on our G5 at the very end, kind of through the bridge. So you could word that with just the power chords, kind of the G, F, C/E, E flat, G, F, C/E, E flat, D5, do the down, down, up, down with the bigger chords. And you could even add basses to these. You'd have the G minor with the low E bass, F with the low E bass. On the C, you may want to do the low E for your bass. So it's kind of the C slash E. E flat would have the A for the bass. G minor with low E bass, F with the low E bass, C slash E with the low E bass, E flat with an A bass, D with an A bass. And if you want that bar shape and then slide it up for the 8th, actually it's kind of another way to play the F. Actually, kind of 8th fret bar, 3rd finger over the D, G, and B. And then we have our G minor, G minor, G minor, and then our E hit. Nasty. Or if you dig it on the 16th pattern, you could work that with the basses too. G minor, F, C slash E. To set us up to go into our last verse chorus. So remember, G minor, G minor, or you can mix this up, you know, you can throw the licks around these chords too, you know, feel free to kind of throw them in. And randomly, what can be kind of cool too, kind of more interested in kind of playing some lead or some funk around this, it might be kind of cool to play around with a G minor pentatonic scale. Actually, this can work really well, especially around the G minor and the C minor, to make up some licks. So you could even play 3rd to 6th on the low E, 3rd to 5th on the A, 3rd to 5th on the D, 3rd to 5th on the G, 3rd to 6th on the B, and then 3rd to 6th on the high E. And you can even work that as kind of hammer-ons, pull-offs, doing pull-offs, hammer-ons, slide licks, bend licks, double stop licks, kind of playing 2 notes at the same time. So I'm going to kind of play around with throwing those notes in, and I know I'm kind of throwing this in a Hendrix direction, but kind of the G minor lick, G minor lick, G minor, G minor, C minor, kind of think about playing around with that scale too. That might be kind of cool to throw in some licks around the chords. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Love Runs Out by OneRepublic. So good luck.